All right, let's get right into it. This is your essential field guide for 2026. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on those invisible strings, the ones that manipulate your decisions every single day. We're talking about the dark psychology tactics designed to control your wallet and your heart. So let's dive in. Think about the last thing you bought, the last argument you got into, the last person you decided to trust. Now, I want you to ask yourself and really be honest. Are those choices really your own? Well, the answer is a lot more complicated than you might think. You see, in the American marketplace of 2026, manipulation isn't just common, it's a full-blown science. And your wallet, it's the primary target. We're going to start with the most common traps they set for your money. First up, we've got a classic, but believe me, it is more powerful than ever. It's called the anchor. This simple trick costs Americans billions, and chances are you fell for it just this week without even realizing it. So here's how our brains get completely hooked. It's a cognitive bias called anchoring. Our minds, they latch on to the very first number we see, and they use that as a reference point for everything that comes after. It sets the perceived value, even if that value is totally fabricated. Yeah, this slide shows the tactic in action perfectly. Just think about Black Friday deals, or, any big sale on Amazon. You see that original price, that's the $300 anchor, and all of a sudden, $150 feels like an absolute steal. But was that thing ever really worth $300? Probably not. The anchor did its job before you even had a chance to think. Okay, so how do you actually fight back? First, you have to make a conscious effort to just ignore that first price. Cover it up with your hand if you have to. Then ask yourself the most important question. What is this item actually worth to me? Not to the store, to you. That is how you spot it to stop it. All right, this next tactic, it preys on a really fundamental human need, our need to belong. And in our digital age, it's been turned into a weapon. It's called the myth of social proof. Oh, you've definitely seen this. A flood of perfect 5-star reviews. A viral TikTok from someone called bot_reviewer73 claiming a product totally changed their life. This is social proof. It leverages our instinct to follow the herd. If everyone else loves it, it has to be good, right? Well, the problem in 2026 is that the herd is usually just a legion of bots. So to protect yourself, you kind of have to become a digital detective. Start looking for patterns. Are all the reviews super vague and way too enthusiastic? This is amazing isn't a real review. You got to seek out comments from verified purchasers, or even better, find independent sources you can actually trust. Don't fall for the hype. Spot it to stop. Okay, let's shift gears a bit, because these tactics don't just target your wallet. They're aimed directly at your heart and your mind. We're moving from the marketplace into the minefield of our personal relationships. Just listen to this phrase for a second. You're just being too sensitive. It sounds so simple, right? Almost dismissive, but it's one of the most common and frankly destructive weapons in the entire dark psychology arsenal. And that phrase, it's literally designed to make you ask yourself this exact question. It is engineered to plant a tiny seed of doubt, to make you turn inward and question your own feelings, your own perception of what's real. It's such a subtle but powerful shift of blame that can leave you feeling completely lost. Yeah, this tactic has a name. It's called gaslighting, and its goal is just insidious. It's to erode your confidence in your own mind, which makes you so much easier to influence and control. This isn't about winning an argument. It's about completely rewriting your reality. So how in the world do you stay grounded when this is happening? First, keep a private record of events. A quick note on your phone, in a journal, whatever. This isn't about getting ready for a fight. It's an anchor for your own reality. Second, and this is the most important one, trust your gut. That feeling that something is just off, that's your most powerful alarm system. If it feels wrong, it probably is. Spot it to stop it. So we've looked at deceptive pricing and we've looked at emotional manipulation. But just knowing these things exist isn't really enough. Now we're going to forge that knowledge into a practical mental shield, your everyday defense against all this deception. It all boils down to 3 core principles. First, pause before acting. Whether you're about to click buy or you're about to react in an argument, just create a little space between that trigger and your response. Even a single breath is a powerful defense. Second, question urgency. Manipulators love to create false pressure. Always ask, why do I have to decide this right now? The answer usually reveals their true motive. And finally, trust your gut.
Your intuition is a highly evolved threat detection system. Never, ever let anyone convince you to ignore it.
So, as you go back out there, armed with this awareness, there's really only one question left to ask. Which one of these tricks are you going to spot first? Because now, the power is back in your hands.